Hey, this is Austin with ChurchTechIdeas.com. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I am super insecure about pretty much anything that I create. Like, I'll be making something, and halfway through I'm like, this is terrible. I am terrible at what I do. So here's 5 things that I've learned over the years that have helped me cope with my creative insecurities. Before we move on, if you find this content helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also check out churchelements.co and consider supporting me through a media subscription. You'll get new backgrounds, new countdowns, and animated elements that you can use in ProPresenter or Premiere or any other video editing software and make your videos look awesome. Alright, let's get to it. Coping mechanism number 1. People only see what you give them to see. And what I mean by that is they don't see the 10 clips you could have used for that one little spot in your video, or the 20 pixels this line could have been moved over this way. They only see like an average of all of the effort you've put into something. I find that really reassuring when I'm working on something. Like I mentioned before, I feel like I'm terrible at what I do halfway through a project. And it's because I'm like caught up in all the mundane little moving things around, but people don't see that. They don't know that those things even exist. And so take comfort in that. Coping mechanism number 2. Most people who look at your work are not going to appreciate it as much as you think they will in your head. And so the sooner you realize that, the less pressure it is on the back end when you're making it, or on the front end. Whichever end, when you're making stuff. So when you show somebody a video you've made or a picture you've taken and you're thinking in your mind, oh my gosh, they're gonna love this, it's gonna be so cool, it's gonna change their world. It's probably not going to. They're probably just gonna look at it and say, oh, that's cool, or that's not cool at all, actually. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Coping mechanism number 3 is good enough. That's a term that you should say over and over in your head. When, like before I said, when you're moving things around, like 20 pixels here, or 20 pixels there, put this line here, this line there, or that clip there, you could have used like 7 other clips, and you're just stressing about this. You have to get to a point where you're just moving things incrementally. You need to say it's good enough, and then you can just let it go and go on to the next thing. And that is terribly important. I don't know how many times that I have gotten caught in ruts, just moving things around and just being so insecure about how it looks that I never actually get anything out. And that's definitely not the goal. Coping mechanism number 4 is the expectation that things aren't going to look like you thought they were going to look. I remember when I first started out doing stuff, I would make this cool video that looked awesome on the computer screen, and then I would put it on a projector, and it looked terrible because projectors wash things out. And so I kind of changed the way I would make things in expectation of how it would look when it's being displayed. The same is true sometimes in print. If you're not really good at print stuff and you don't know exactly what you're doing, when you print things out, it could look washed out and no good. And so you just need to work on those things and practice some, obviously, but then also have the expectation that it might not come out exactly how it looks on the computer, and be okay with that. And so if your expectations are lowered, no, this is terrible. This is terrible. See, this is a video is terrible. I'm terrible at what I do. Coping mechanism number 5 is to work towards impressing people who do what you do. And what I mean by that is if you're making a video or taking a picture or making a graphic, instead of trying to impress the people who are going to end up viewing it, your main audience, try to impress people who make videos, who take pictures, who make graphics, and can see the flaws in your work. And so if you're aiming to impress those people, then you're definitely going to impress everybody else. That doesn't exactly help with insecurities, but it does help you grow as an artist, and helps your work become better and better the more you make it. And of course, practice makes perfect, so the more you make things and you bring them to other people for critique and stuff like that, you can grow and learn how to make things better next time. Here's an extra tip if you're trying to make money doing what you do. Just because something is easy for you to do doesn't mean you shouldn't be paid for it. I know when I was younger doing stuff, I didn't feel right charging people for stuff because it wasn't hard for me to do, or I liked doing it. But you have to know the value in yourself and know that what you do has a value and has a worth, and you should be getting paid for it. Last but not least, let me know what you think of this video in the comments, and share any creative insecurities that you yourself have had and what you've done to get over them. Alright, see you next time.